the fashion world has been shaken to its core. In a moment that defied all expectations and rewrote the narrative of global luxury branding, the CEO of DIOR publicly declared BTS's Jimin as the brand's new inspiration. This statement, delivered during the high-stakes Paris Fashion Week Women's Spring-Summer 2026 showcase, sent shockwaves across the industry and ignited a firestorm of speculation, admiration, and emotional resonance. But what does this mean for the future of DIOR, for Jimin's individual trajectory, and for BTS as a cultural force? And why did Jin, the eldest member of BTS, react with such visible pride, perhaps even tears, upon hearing the news? The declaration was not a casual compliment. It was a seismic shift in the way luxury fashion perceives influence, artistry, and cultural relevance. DIOR, a brand synonymous with timeless elegance and European heritage, has never before aligned its core identity so intimately with a K-pop artist. The CEO's words were deliberate, calculated, and loaded with implications. By calling Jimin a new inspiration, DIOR signaled not only a change in aesthetic direction but also a strategic pivot toward a more global, emotionally resonant, and youth-driven narrative. The question now reverberating through fashion capitals and fan communities alike is, why Jimin and why now? Jimin's appearance at the DIOR show was nothing short of cinematic. As he stepped into the Tuileries garden, the crowd erupted, not with polite applause, but with a kind of fervor reserved for heads of state or cultural icons. Cameras flashed, fans screamed, and industry insiders leaned in. Dressed in a tailored ensemble that fused classic DIOR silhouettes with subtle Korean motifs, Jimin didn't just attend the show, he dominated it. His presence was magnetic, his aura undeniable. And somewhere in the front row, Jin watched it all unfold with an expression that defied easy categorization. Was it pride? Was it nostalgia? Was it the quiet realization that BTS's legacy was evolving in real time? The emotional weight of Jin's reaction cannot be dismissed. Known for his stoic demeanor and understated elegance, Jin rarely displays overt emotion in public settings. Yet witnesses reported a moment of visible vulnerability, a glisten in his eyes, a subtle tremble in his posture, as Jimin was ushered to the center of attention. This was not merely a bandmate supporting another. This was a brother witnessing a transformation. The bond between Jin and Jimin has always been marked by mutual respect, quiet support, and shared history. From their earliest days training in cramped studios to performing on global stages, they have weathered storms together. And now, as Jimin ascends into the pantheon of fashion royalty, Jin's pride carries layers of meaning that transcend professional camaraderie. But what exactly captivated DIOR's CEO? Was it Jimin's physical elegance, his poised demeanor, or something more intangible? Industry analysts point to Jimin's unique ability to embody dualities, softness and strength, tradition and innovation, humility and grandeur. In a market saturated with influencers and celebrities, Jimin offers something rare: authenticity. His movements are deliberate, his expressions nuanced, his presence commanding without being overbearing. He doesn't perform fashion, he inhabits it. And in doing so, he elevates the garments beyond mere fabric and stitching. He transforms them into narratives. The implications for DIOR are profound. By aligning with Jimin, the brand taps into a demographic that is both fiercely loyal and globally dispersed. ARMY, BTS's fanbase, is not just a fandom, it is a cultural phenomenon. Their purchasing power, digital reach, and emotional investment are unparalleled. DIOR's decision to spotlight Jimin is not just a creative choice, it is a strategic masterstroke. The brand's earned media value, YEMB, during the Fashion Week reportedly skyrocketed, with Jimin contributing a staggering portion of that surge. 2 Instagram posts from Jimin generated more buzz than entire campaigns from other top-tier influencers. This is not influence, it is dominance. And yet, the story is not solely about metrics and market share. It is about legacy. BTS, despite pursuing individual projects, remains a collective force. Each member's success reflects back on the group, reinforcing their shared narrative of resilience, innovation, and global impact. Jin's reaction, therefore, is not just personal, it is emblematic. It signals that BTS's journey is far from over. If anything, it is entering a new chapter, one where individual brilliance amplifies collective glory. Speculation now swirls around the possibility of a deeper collaboration between JIMIN and DIOR. Will he become the official face of the brand? Will his aesthetic influence future collections? Will BTS as a whole re-enter the fashion arena with renewed vigor? These questions remain unanswered, but the trajectory is clear. JIMIN is no longer just a participant in the fashion world, he is shaping it. And Jin, watching from the sidelines, is not just a spectator, he is a witness to history. The emotional resonance of this moment cannot be overstated. For fans, it is a validation of years of support, admiration, and belief. For the fashion industry, it is a wake-up call, a reminder that influence is no longer confined to traditional boundaries. For BTS, it is a reaffirmation that their impact transcends music, language, and geography. And for Jin, it is a moment of quiet triumph, a recognition that the seeds they planted together are now bearing fruit in ways they could never have imagined. As the lights dimmed on the DIOR runway and the echoes of applause faded into the Paris night, one truth remained undeniable. JIMIN had arrived, not just as a guest, but as a force. And Jin, standing in the shadows of that brilliance, was not diminished. He was illuminated. The pride etched on his face was not just for JIMIN. It was for the journey, the struggle, the brotherhood. It was for BTS that in the days that followed, social media exploded with tributes, analyses, and emotional reflections. Fans dissected every frame of JIMIN's appearance, every nuance of Jin's reaction. Fashion critics recalibrated their assessments, acknowledging that a new paradigm had emerged. And somewhere in Seoul, perhaps in a quiet studio or a sunlit room, Jin and JIMIN shared a moment, unspoken, profound, and eternal. This is not the end. It is a beginning. The fashion world has opened its doors and BTS is walking through, not as outsiders, but as architects. JIMIN's ascent is not a solo flight. It is a beacon. And Jin's pride is not a fleeting emotion. It is a testament. Together, they remind us that influence is not about noise. It is about resonance. And in that resonance, a new era is born. The magnitude of JIMIN's impact at DIOR's Spring-Summer 2026 showcase continues to reverberate across industries. Analysts now speculate that this moment may mark a turning point not only in fashion, but in the broader cultural economy. DIOR's CEO, known for his meticulous vision and strategic precision, did not choose his words lightly. By naming JIMIN